Welcome back into Main Street Living, guys. Our country is facing a lot of problems these days, and it might seem too big to tackle.
I know. And one of the problems is homelessness and people living without shelter, especially when those people are kids. On any given night in the US, more than 40,000 unaccompanied youth are homeless. Here to talk about this problem and how we can help is Justin Lipford. Welcome to Main Street Living.
Hello, everyone. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, thanks for joining us today. Now, we all know that homelessness is a huge problem in our country, but we might not have realized how many young people among those are living in shelters. How big of a problem is this?
From a practical space, consider this: 1 out of 10 young people, specifically young adults, 17 to 24 years of age, are experiencing homelessness or will experience homelessness or housing insecurity at one point in time. So that's 1 in 10. So in essence, we all know young people, whether it's family or friends or within our networks, that are going to be encountering this issue.
Mm.
Gotcha. Now, Justin, before I even get to the second question, I have to say, great mustache, bro. I like the mustache, man.
I appreciate it, man. Thank you. It's been a long time coming, man. This has been growing it since I was 4.
Oh wow,
You wear
wow,
it well.
Right on.
yeah. So tell us, what are some of the circumstances that might cause a young person to become homeless?
Yeah, man. I would say we have to look at homelessness in general as a complex issue. There really is no one thing. But when we think of young people, I've come to see, and just in my 23 years of service to the community, that there are some main categories. One, most of this stems around poverty and issues of poverty and cyclical generational poverty. What I found is we get to places where families just cannot afford to keep and shelter their young people, or they're encountering issues themselves where they just cannot sustain their own housing. Two, what ends up happening as well is our young people are looking to escape very dangerous situations that are occurring in their homes. Lots and lots of trauma. I've just been inundated with story upon story of these young people just really fleeing for their lives because they're unsafe situations. And then on top of that, specifically as we look at young adults on the streets, up to 50% of our youngsters experiencing homelessness are coming from our LGBTQ communities. And what ends up happening is they're just family rejection when they're
Oh.
coming out and with who they are. So we have these floating dynamics, and that's what kind of brings our young people to have to really look for housing themselves.
Oh wow.
Ugh,
Yeah.
it's so sad to hear all that. And so, what are some programs that are in place to help these people?
Yeah, number one, it is sad. I can just say that I'm fueled by these stories. I'm fueled by wanting to really bring attention to the issue. And when we talk about services, to me, I view this as there's two parts. There's prevention and there's intervention.
Hmm.
Intervention, we as a community have to get to a place where we recognize that if and when a young person comes up saying, I am experiencing homelessness and I want to get off these streets or I want to get housing and stability, we have to have a solution that is immediate, urgent, and dignified. So there are programs that provide emergency shelter and emergency housing that allow young people to get and receive and get off the streets immediately. Now, I would say historically, from the community's eyes, we tend to clump homelessness all in together and mash it together. And that's fine. But what I'm hoping to do is be able to separate the issue, because if we can have the community understand that young people need a specific type of intervention, a specific type of housing, that I think gives us ability to mobilize a little bit better. So what I'm really saying is, for a young person to go into your traditional adult shelters, that's great. That gets them off the street. But most of them don't want to do that because those dynamics can be really scary and intimidating. So what we try to do as youth serving organizations is provide a specific intervention that's cultivated to their needs and to really empowering them to become their best selves. From a prevention standpoint, I'm sorry, Quincy, but from a prevention standpoint, it's really about looking at what are the dynamics we've seen in the community. So if we're working and supporting some of our more under-resourced communities, we know that there's a strong likelihood that youngsters in that circumstance are going to encounter these issues. So we just have to be able to mobilize in a very fast way to intervene before homelessness becomes an issue.
Mm-hmm.
Justin, I can tell and I certainly respect your passion, because that's really what changes communities is to have people in organizations like yourself that can do that. But how can the viewers help in their own communities?
Yeah, man. Thank you. I'm passionate because of just having the privilege to be working with these communities for so long and just feel like needing to be a champion. And I'll say this, it all starts with moving from apathy to empathy. Because what I've seen, unfortunately, is I believe that we just get so muted when it comes to these issues. So what I'm saying is we all can relate to being young at one time. We all can relate to either having kids or being connected to kids, and just recognizing that there is a need for us as community members to step up on behalf of these young people. So as we move into empathy, then it's a matter of, can we then find a way to mobilize? And I know that every community across our nation offers services and opportunities. So I think it's just about digging deep and saying, how can we connect and align with some of these services? I've been very fortunate to be connected to national programs and national services that are helping young people. And I just say this, we are all part of the solution. We have the ability to roll up our sleeves and open up our hearts to really help these youngsters. And I believe that this is going to happen. And I'm confident that's going to happen.
Oh, I like your optimism there. And these youngsters, I mean, they just want to be understood. They want to be heard. And there are people out there who want to help. And I know that you have partnered with the YMCA in San Diego County, and you're planning an event on November 8th. Tell us about that.
Oh, yeah, I'm so excited. On November 8th, we're embarking upon what's called our Solidarity Journey, where myself and two of my colleagues, two youngsters who themselves have experienced homelessness, are basically going to be starting at the top of our county and walking down the coast and utilizing public transportation over a 3-day period to get to the border. So in San Diego, our county starts at the top and ends right at the border of the international border. And our hope is to elevate the issue, to invite the community to be a part of the conversation, and to really bring light to young people that historically just feel invisible. These youngsters feel invisible and they needed to be seen. And I believe once you're seen, then we can mobilize.
Awesome. Awesome. Well, really quick before we go, how can viewers get more information and get involved?
You know, thank you for putting my information right there. I am asking every person who sees this to put eyes and go to our Instagram. We're gonna be showing this throughout the month of November, bringing light to this issue. Let's connect. Let's talk about solutions. Let's talk about stories. And this is a way for our community. And as a child of some hippie parents, this is a way to bring love to a situation that needs some love. So I thank you both, and I'm glad that you're in our corners as well.
Thank you so much,
Absolutely. Love is the foundation. Justin, thank you so much. We appreciate you joining us today.
Appreciate you all. Have a great day.
All right. Well, Cheryl, it's time to go pay some bills. But on the other side of the break, we find out who's ready to join the club. Is it you?